I've recently done a video on the Aeons. I had somebody ask me why I had 33 of the factions while they only had 32. I'm going to make a video on the factions now so they could see what faction they might be missing. So, the first thing is just factions, the explanation of them. The mortal being's speculation of divine intent is a futile endeavor, akin to the irreverence of a mayfly against the enormity of the cosmos. However, when individuals harbor a shared misconception, they gather as a crowd, giving rise to an added value. The formation of consensus, the transmutation of misconception into a generally accepted solution, and the attraction of the collective. Subsequently, factions naturally emerge. Regardless of the size of factions, they all believe that their faith bears the will of the Aeons. Countless factions even claim to be the emissaries of a certain Aeon. Most of the Aeons have found no interest in the ways of these factions. Some, however, find it extremely amusing to watch these ants in their fervent labor. They may provide careful guidance or create mysticism to alter the progress of the faction. This is their way of influencing the world. Though most of the Aeons remain distant, the vast number of factions have made the stars a lively place. They carry banners and flags, forming allies and foes, fighting those who stand against their beliefs. The cosmos became a lively place indeed. The first faction it describes is the Astral Express, or the Trailblazers. After the fall of Akivili, the Aeon of Trailblaze, their trailblazing will was inherited by their followers, the Nameless, including the Astral Express that the Aeon once rode on. However, as the cancer of all worlds continues to spread, the star rails that the Express runs on also fell victim. The Express could barely run before the Blight descended and had no choice but to run aground when the rails became overly obstructed. It remained so for many years until a girl with red hair discovered the desolate Express. She was fascinated by the wordless stories the engine and the star rails had in store. She spent countless hours repairing the cracks and evening the dents, restoring the Express to its original form. The curious girl then set foot onto the Express and began her trailblazing voyage that surveys the cosmos. Stellaron Hunter. In a quiet moment in time, the cancer of all worlds began to cause ripples across the stars like a rock tossed into a pool of water. Before anyone noticed, this twisted and unknown matter has already corrupted a great number of worlds, but resplendent and mesmerizing gems accompany this corrosive mud. Gems known as Stellarons. Death and despair followed wherever Stellarons went. For many civilizations who have experienced the disasters it brings, Stellarons are symbols of destruction. However, despite the Stellarons' nature, there emerged a fearless few who travel between the worlds to obtain Stellarons. They call themselves the Stellaron Hunters. No one knows anything about the Stellaron Hunters aside from what they have done. Which Aeon do they worship? What do they want with the Stellaron? With the cosmos filled with rumors about them, only one thing is certain. Though the Stellaron Hunters are few in numbers, each of them holds incredible capacities and powers. The Nameless, Trailblaze. 1,000 years ago, the Aeon Akivili traversed across worlds, laying down the silver rail that linked worlds together in the Sea of Stars, and leaving behind countless legends about the universe and exploration. The brave and curious were attracted by the tales of these adventures and followed the steps of the Trailblaze, joining the god in their journeys to explore the cosmos. The adventurers called themselves the Nameless. They rode the express created by Akivili and set off on thrilling adventures on planets connected by the Silver Rail. Legend has it that Akivili the Trailblaze loved journeying with mortals. They and the Nameless would share wine from various worlds and sing songs composed by diverse civilizations. They would disguise the moving express as the trail of a shooting star and laugh at the people looking up in awe. However, they would often get into deep trouble due to their recklessness, only to be saved by the Aeon's power. Akivili formed a deep bond with their followers, and their adventures continued to attract travelers to join the ranks of the Nameless. When Akivili fell, a group of loyal Nameless carried on what the Aeon had started, continuing the exploration of the unknown. They held the belief that one day the will of Trailblaze will connect the entire universe. The Astral Express that once carried Akivili and their followers still hurries between the stars till this day. It is believed that the Express is powered by the heart of the deceased Aeon, and is repairing with great difficulty the star rail contaminated by the unknown cancer. Janzo Alliance, the Hunts. Seems like the different things that you can have on your characters also has an effect on the different factions. In an ancient era of legends, multiple Shanzo ships were tasked with voyaging across the stars to search for the miracle medicine of immortality. The endless voyage took its toll on Xianzhou, wearing away its conviction and shape over the long years, until their eventual encounter with Eyaoshi. However, all that the fruit of immortality brought upon them were sorrows, poverty, and endless war and death. It wasn't until Lan, the Aeon of the Hunt, returned from the abyss. Using gravity as bowstring and stars as arrows, Lan shattered the ambrosial arbor and put the wickedness of abundance to an end. After Xianzhou returned to the righteous path, it formed an alliance under the guidance of the Hunt and formed a powerful army known as the Cloud Knights. The alliance goals were to patrol the world and eradicate all abominations of abundance and put an end to the corruption of the undead. Over the years, the Xianzhou alliance landed on a great number of worlds that used to enjoy the grace of gods. They eradicated countless undead abominations. Any civilization that worshipped abundance had to consider the possible threat of the Xianzhou destroying their planet. This kind of deterrence was precisely what the Xianzhou alliance is hoping to be. They want to be seen as the constant red line for those greedy for immortality, becoming the price that none dares to pay. To this day, countless souls have gathered upon Xianzhou, all bearing the will of the Hunt and the intent of seeking revenge of the ravaging abundance. They won't rest until the complete eradication of the deathless doom, and their cosmic tours will not end. Galaxy Rangers, the Hunt. Not all devotees of the Hunt hate abundance. Such a group of talented rangers existed out there. This group admires Lan's policy of using violence against violence and the Aeon's swift decisiveness regarding punishment, believing the benevolence and justice of the universe need to be upheld via personal action. The Galaxy Rangers formed into a group of heroes walking the path of the Hunt and roamed the universe thanks to the blessings of the Aeon. They went from planet to planet, upholding justice for the locals, hunting down evil, then embarking on new journeys. The successful assassination of a Lord Ravager, Zulo, first brought the Galaxy Rangers to their fame. And many years later, a ranger thwarted the atavistic experiment of the 64th member of the Genius Society, Dr. Primitive. But after that, these Galaxy Rangers gradually faded out of sight in the cosmos. Rumor has it that they fell victim to Dr. Primitive's vengeance. Self-Annihilator, Nihility. Everything in the universe is meaningless, and human beings are worthless in the eyes of the Aeon. If Aeons are truly above all beings, why would they even care about the emotions of mortals? The Self-Annihilators are individuals who had inadvertently stepped into the shadow of 9D Nihility, and from that moment even lost the meaning of their own existence. The shadow of the Nihility covers the stars equally, and Self-Annihilators may form in any world. If we call them a faction, they lack the social connections typically found in an organization. However, if we consider them phenomena, these poor souls do share one thing in common. Their various existential properties, such as corporeal body, mental cognition, and personal memories, will gradually fade away in their journey of self-annihilation. These phenomena can hardly be explained by the laws of nature. As described in the handwritten notes of the Doctors of Chaos, some self-annihilators have their skin turned into something like rotten wood, full of holes and scars. Some have their endocrine system disrupted, becoming unable to distinguish between pleasure and pain and turning numb to everything. Some lose their memories. Others lose their senses. It is as if they have been deprived of the meaning of their lives by some entity and can only keep watching in dreams and illusions as their own forms disappear into a black hole at the end of the horizon. However, some self-annihilators would conceive the idea of fighting back. They join the Doctors of Chaos, vowing to do their best to cure others of nihility in what little time they have left in exchange for their own redemption. Moreover, some of them rely on their strong convictions to try to break the curse of nihility at its roots, by slaying the Aeon that slumbers in the abyss. Dr. Primitive, number 64 of the Genius Society, once asked before his disappearance, if 9 is truly irresponsive to the universe, how could the path of nihility exist to this day? Perhaps, as the self-annihilators aimlessly traverse the cosmos, they are also casting the shadow of the Aeon around the universe. As for the few who can single-handedly withstand the encroachment of nihility in their existences, their journey of self-annihilation is drawn out to infinity, and the road they walk is like a shadow of 9 cast in the world. Doctors of Chaos, Nihility. Existence is nothing. When an organism has this thought and applies it as a guiding principle, it begins to walk on the path ruled by 9, or X, and receive the meaningless glimpse of the aeon from some distant void. This will usually have two outcomes. 1. The organism will devolve and truly become nothing, becoming something called a self-annihilator. 2. The organism will be captivated by the magnificence of the aeon, thus becoming a doctor of chaos in their spontaneous curiosity. Doctors of Chaos uphold a creed of saving the world. If they are able to prove to 9 that the existence is more than nothing, they could free that large and lonely soul from the depths of the void. What they try to prove is a paradox, and it cannot be done by mortals. Yet the Doctors of Chaos seem to enjoy trying, because the moment they perceived the worthlessness of life, that glance from the distant cosmos inspired within them a futile desire to revolt against meaningless destiny. Device 9, or X. Everything in the universe is bound by the prison of existence, constrained by their body and mind and blinded by the world's superficial appearance. Even the most intelligent beings cannot comprehend this. Matter, order, logic, and life. Everything that makes up reality is but one side of the coin. On the opposite side of equal entropy, there exists nihility. The two balance each other to create the complete universe. Legend has it, in the void of nothingness that is difficult to be perceived by the material world, there lurks a mysterious faction known as Device 9, or X. Those who gaze into the void for a long time will gradually be drawn to its dark energy, eventually passing through the dark web that separates reality from nothingness. The legend has yet to be proven true. The most prestigious geniuses in the universe attempted to solve this mystery, challenging Device 9 with no results. Why was this organization created? What are its goals? How many members does it have and what do they do? Does Device 9 truly exist? The answer is as empty as the question itself. Denizens of Abundance. The denizens of abundance created poetry and art in the name of their beloved god, spreading the love and kindness of Yaoshi throughout the universe. In the worlds blessed by Yaoshi, the water never runs dry, and creatures are free from the cruel binds of time. Life is free to bloom as it sees fit. In the worlds blessed by Yaoshi, age is but a number, and mortals are not afraid of aging and death. They enjoy their lives to the fullest. Though its denizens come from different worlds, they all tell the same story. Thousands of years ago, war raged their lands. The short lives of mortals bred greed and fear, which gave rise to plunder and tyranny. As demons and plagues ran rampant, the very fate of this world and its denizens were at stakes in the flames of war. Until a kind god descended and planted a flower seed as warm as the sunshine. The moment the seed touched the earth, the whole world was transformed. Parched soil began to heal and muddy waters became clear. Mortals tortured by wounds and disease were no longer in pain. People's hearts were no longer filled by sorrow. Humankind discarded the blood-stained weapons and began spontaneously praising the blessings from the god of abundance. Yaoshi ended the suffering of these worlds and bestowed upon mortals body and soul that could withstand the corrosion of time. In return, the denizens of abundance made Yaoshi's name known to the universe to show their gratitude. Rumors started to spread that certain hunters who roam these worlds regard Yaoshi as evil and their creation defiled creatures. The denizens will not tolerate such blatant blasphemy. The heathens must pay. Seems like there's kind of a thing of people not knowing how eternity could actually scar them, compared to people that have been scarred by eternity and what happens, and them being in a fight. The Elixir Seekers. Conflict and turmoil linger everywhere in an already short lifespan. The lust and ambitions of the living continuously spark conflict and disaster. The transience of life has driven many ordinary people into madness. In order to escape the pain and burden that mortality has brought upon civilization, worlds upon worlds have sent out faithful emissaries of abundance in hopes of finding the famous Yaoshi and acquiring the elixir of immortality. These elixir seekers all come from different backgrounds. Some are royals with the command of an entire fleet, while some are just lonely travelers who have nothing but themselves. What they do have in common, however, is the obsession over immortality. The Jianzhou Alliance has repeatedly warned blind followers that there is a cost that lies behind the blessings of abundance. However, their warnings have always fallen on deaf ears. Arrogance and fear have always trumped the voice of reason, pushing elixir seekers further in their fruitless voyage. Among the vast number of elixir seekers, how many have seen the face of the abundance? How many can succeed in returning to their civilization with the supposed medicine of salvation? Sadly, these immortality-seeking voyagers have chosen to ignore the harrowing wails of the long-lived monsters that have terrorized the universe. Seems, even though the denizens of abundance are talking about how their world was being destroyed by war and greed, that there are also people that get greedy because of abundance, and because of the greed and the possibility of creating undead, because, nothing dies, so when somebody dies, do they come back to life as an undead? Could create problems in total. I think I'm going to leave it here. We're almost halfway, I think. A little bit more. Yeah, we're almost halfway. So I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to start my next video with the Antimatter Legion, from Destruction all the way to the last faction that I have. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please leave a like, it does help me. And if you want to see any other videos of me, be sure to also leave a follow. So thank you, have a nice evening, hope you enjoy your day, and I'll see you guys next time.